Hello and welcome to another update video about Sand, one of my favorite metaverse cryptocurrencies, which I believe will still be here after a bear market, in a bear market, and also in 5 years' time. I think this is a growing ecosystem, just to start with that, and I think this cryptocurrency has a bright future. Still though, you can see that this downtrending line that I showed you already in the video, I think earlier today or yesterday, we can see that even though a lot of cryptos did do quite well today, Sand actually didn't really do anything. It didn't really move because it was stuck below this ascending trend line. There was a bit of an attempt to break out here, I think, but we could also probably just need to move that a little bit and then yeah, no, I think there was an attempt to break out, yeah, because we've got one touch point here, 2, 3. There was a bit of a fake out here to the upside, a little attempt today when some other cryptos broke out to the upside as well throughout the day, but then it broke down again. So it was really held back by this ascending trend line and also by this Fibonacci level here, the 0.5 at 550. This really did hold the price down. And yeah, it seems like at the moment we are not going to see that massive breakout here to the upside that other cryptos are doing, so indicating that the correction is not over yet, and we can see that we're making here consecutively lower lows and lower highs. What we can see though is that here we had a turning point down here at around 420. I mean, just looking at the wick, first of all, you start to make higher lows here again, yeah. So we are pretty much heading here in some sort of a triangle. You can see that if we use that wick as well, then we are heading here into an apex of a triangle where we would have a little bit more space here, but actually we are pretty much at the apex. So a decision is imminent, yeah. I would say you could also see it the other way and put here something like a descending wedge, which would then rather indicate, if we just use the closed candle bodies here, but then we only have 2 touch points here. But that could be a descending wedge indicating rather a breakout to the upside at some point here. Overall though, even though we have seen here basically a turning point down here for now, I think this is still looking fairly weak. We just have been massively overextended, right? On the weekly RSI, we were just massively overbought, and if we just have a look now on the weekly RSI, we are still in the overbought range on the weekly RSI. And when we were up here, I told you, don't forget the profit taking, and hopefully you did that. Otherwise, you just have to be patient. I think at some point in the not too distant future, Sand will recover fairly well and will get back to these points. And the thing is, if Bitcoin, however, gets to the levels that I expect, around 30K, maybe even lower, possibly lower, actually, that's what I expect, then chances are Sand will drop more as well. Then Sand could drop here maybe to the 0.786 fib level at 360, maybe even to the 0.887 fib level at 295. These are 2 key fib levels where I would expect this cryptocurrency to land, even though still very high prices compared to where we were earlier in the year, yeah, or just a couple of months ago really. So not too dramatic overall, but we just need to be aware that this could really drop quite hard if Bitcoin drops. Now Bitcoin is obviously doing a little bit of a relief rally. So what we can't see here is that Sand is following at the moment. This was different the last few times when Bitcoin moved up, then Sand and the other gaming cryptos or metaverse cryptos moved up fairly well as well. This seems to be over now, indicating that this ABC correction that I talked about and that I've been having on the chart for a while now actually is working out. You know, when we came down from up here, I told you that I think an ABC is starting, and you could see it work out perfectly well, right? We have had, after that top here, we have had this a B to the upside, you know, that worked out, and we are currently in this wave C. The question is only how far down can we come? And yeah, we have come down to the 0.618 fib level already. We have more space to the downside, in my view. Theoretically, in a really strong downtrend, we could even come down to the 0.887. Personally, because we can't really see here a move up yet, I think we are still going, and also because we broke that uptrend here actually to the downside. You can see that we had an uptrend here, an uptrending line, ascending trend line. Now we broke that to the downside, and despite this possibly descending wedge, which is actually a bullish pattern, I would rather expect further moves here to the downside. Sand just isn't very strong at the moment. And if it doesn't follow Bitcoin in this relief rally, I'm a bit concerned that we are going to drop a little bit lower here, possibly again to 472, that 0.618 level, or here 0.786 at 361, 362. This is confirmed also by the MACD here, which is just dropping from quite a high level. We had that bearish cross, no sign of slowing down at the moment. And on the weekly, we are only just starting to turn around here. I think, yeah, we could really see quite a bit of a drop from here, unfortunately, also because on the weekly we are still massively overbought, and this long wick to the downside doesn't look good either. A lot of people always say this is actually bullish, but actually this, in my view, we only have seen this long wick because we have been massively oversold on the shorter term time frames, and oftentimes people understand these long wicks in the wrong way. People think this looks actually quite bullish. Actually, we are in a strong downtrend. It means the sellers are there, but they haven't just been ready yet. That is my perspective here. It's a little bit different. Overall, what you can also see if we zoom out, you could argue, is that really a descending wedge, or is it a descending triangle, which then would just also confirm that we're actually going down. So as you can already hear, short term, I'm actually rather of the perspective that we're going to move down. I can give you the key support levels here, which if we lose them, then most certainly we're going to drop much lower. So 4.90 is a key level here, $4.90 a key support level. Below that we've got 4.72, which is that 0.618 fib level again. If we lose that, then I think we're going to drop here quite a lot actually to that previous low at 380. Then we've got 362, which is another fib level, and also that previous high back here. And after that we've got 295, which would then really be quite low. And then Bitcoin would also, I think, need to drop quite a lot for that. But looking at where the weekly MACD is, I think this is definitely possible to drop to these levels. This is still very, very high. Not necessarily on the shorter term time frames, but on the longer term time frames, we are still very, very high. And yeah, I told you we are going to get into a correction. So the question is just, when is it going to stop? And I gave you some key support levels. And at the moment, my worst case would be here 295. So overall, to really break here to the upside and climb the fib ladders up, we need to get a breakout above 550. If we get a breakout above 550, we get a breakout above this descending trend line, and also break out above this Fibonacci level, the 0.5. And then the next level here will be the 0.382 fib level at 627. And then if we move up from here, we have to face the 738 level. That's pretty much my view currently on Sand. Just want to give you a quick update. If you liked it, please smash the like button and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.